Welcome to Talk Theory. It's your host, Kiara Barnes, where I talk all things life, what makes us human, and what makes us superhuman. Sit back, relax, and join me for a chat. Welcome back to Talk Theory Podcast. How is everybody? Everyone doing okay? I hope everyone's doing okay. Yeah, another week, folks. I hope everyone has been having a good start to their summer. If you're in LA, you're probably seeing what I'm seeing, and it's a lot of clouds going on. I haven't been around in the summer in a minute. And I didn't know, but I think this year's just unusual with what's going on with with the weather. I didn't know, but apparently there's something called, I think it's like June gloom or something. But on the upside, it does look like after Tuesday that we're going to start seeing some more sun again. So I am excited about that. Birthday's coming up soon. So I need to figure out what it is that I want to do. I actually have some things in mind. It's going to be good. So I'm hoping the weather will be good. Anyway, again, I hope everyone's having a good start of their summer. And with the summer happening or pending, if you're living in LA, I think that summer is always a great time to just bloom. It's a great time to just be whoever you want to be. And I think with all the good weather and stuff, it gives you space to do that and do whatever you want to do. I'm personally in this very interesting season of life where I'm blooming and growing, and it's giving me a lot of opportunity to reevaluate and reassess, who I am, where I am, and where I want to be. And so I just want to talk about how the more we dive into the new and the unknown, the more acquainted, we actually become with ourselves. And I'm at this point in time where I don't know exactly what's coming next. I don't think a lot of us really do. We can't really plan everything out. And sometimes I think it's easy to give into that feeling of fear because that's what most of us are just more familiar with. But the more we check in with all of that and let it out, we can continue to dive into us and give us the opportunity to bounce back and be the best version of us. But I do think, fear is one of those things that benefits our personal growth. And the more we address it, sorry, I had a little fluff. The more we address it or face it, the more confidence we end up instilling in ourselves. And I've talked about this before and how when we get it out of our heads, I'm talking about fears or doubts, we essentially create more space for ourselves to, one, invite in solutions, right? But also releasing that whole feeling of having your back against the wall. And, real quick, this is an example my dad was talking to me about. And it was like, he was trying to do something, I don't know. Sorry, Dad, if you're listening. Something with a sprinkler maybe or something in the yard. And he couldn't figure out how to get something done. And it was really frustrating him. And he just was like, okay, I just need to take a break. And he went, had some food, did whatever, and then came back to it while, oh yeah, he was eating or whatever, doing something. And then a thought popped into his head like, oh, what if you just did it this way? And he's like, oh, I'll try it. Goes back out there and does it. But what I'm trying to show, and it worked, and it was great. What I'm trying to, you know, uh, get across here is that when you're in that state of relaxation, that's when the intuitive thought or idea can come to you. That's when that feeling or action can come to you. So it's like, okay, well, that's great, but how do we get to the point where we can do that? And the first step is to notice what is causing that fear and start asking why. Just start asking why. I like to get my notebook out and write it down and break it down bit by bit. And this helps me and my brain kind of just itemize things in a more concise way. It's more organized and keeps me grounded. And immediately doing this, I'm taking myself out of survivor mode, and allowing myself, or survival mode, I should say, and allowing myself the space to express. Another great option is if you have a friend or family that you can talk things out with, definitely do that. If you feel like that person is receptive and supportive, then that can help a lot, just talking it out. If you feel maybe, I don't know, like even another option is a therapist, someone you can just decompress and get things off of your mind, and the point is just all of this stuff is to get you back to a level-headed perspective. So whatever avenue you can do to get to that, just choose that. And because when you're at that point or state, then you can make action, like I was talking about with my dad. Now you'll just have more space for inspired action to come to you. When you are stressed and worried and all the things, you can't really make the best decisions. You're just not receptive for it. You're not hearing it because you're thinking about whatever it is that's bothering you, and you can't think of anything else. And that's normal. Like, we're humans. When we have a conscious thought about something, it's really difficult to think about anything else when you're so focused on something. So doing something that can buy you some room to breathe mentally is going to benefit you immensely. So that's kind of like first thing, when stepping into this whole new version of you, like we're talking about, getting into this blooming vibe, which, by the way, when I'm saying new, it's still you. It's just the most truest version of you up until now. It's who you are. I should say it's actually who you are right now. And, everyone knows that feeling, or that moment where maybe you go into your closet and suddenly all the clothes that are there just don't really speak to you anymore. Or maybe your hairstyle isn't really doing it for you. And even like past the physical, it could be some friends or even a job of yours that it just doesn't feel as connected to you as it maybe once did. And it's kind of hard to explain, but you just know, right? It's a feeling. So when you're stepping into this version of you that feels really like you, fully fulfilled and happy, you are stepping into newness. And that's something that you have to fully embrace. For me, I've been going through this myself. And it's like every time I try to cling on to the past for comfort, I actually just get really uncomfortable, like even more uncomfortable. So if that's any, testament or proof that you've got to let go of your past to continue on to new and whatever it is that you desire or want, you have to release the paths to get to it. Because that's old. That's the 3D, which if you're in the manifesting world, right? The 3D is like the now. And really the now is just dead manifestations essentially. Like there's nothing here that's truly alive. Your reality is really just what you thought of, and now it's in your physical, and these are just past thoughts living. And so when you recognize that, you can want to appreciate like all the stuff that you've brought into your life, but anything that's causing you discomfort, you can let it go and know that this is a dead manifestation. You know what I mean? Like this is just an old thought that's living out right now, but it doesn't need to continue. I was hearing some other guy talk about this, and he kind of explained it in the way of like a stage and lighting up a stage, and how like, say you have a plug or like some kind of energy source, and you get to light up which stage you want. And so if there's a stage being lit up, meaning wherever you're putting your energy or attention to, and the stage is playing something that you're like, don't really want to watch this, or I don't really, you can unplug that attention to that stage, right? That energy flow, unplug it, and it has zero effect on you because it's old, it's past. Every moment that we're having, right? Like I've been talking for as long as I've been talking for, and we're past the start. We're already in it, right? And every word that I say is now an old thing that I've just said, right? So I kind of liked his way of kind of killing a lot of that fear of like, well, I'm manifesting this, but I keep, seeing this and this and that. It's like, well, that's where your attention is. But when you realize that it's your attention, it's less scary. It's less scary. It's not something's, happening to me or something's doing this to me. It's like, no, it's where you're putting your attention. But when you point that out and you're real with yourself about where you've been putting your attention, you can change. It's your life. Okay, that was a side tangent. Let's get back to what I'm trying to say. So with the newness, you'll also have to do things that are different than what you've been doing now. And that's fine. That is fine. It's just a little reminder, you don't need to feel like you need to get everything done overnight. The timing will work out perfectly. Just know that. Focus on making the intention to striving to connecting to yourself through love, and just make steps each day. They don't need to be huge, Like I started practicing yoga again, and it's been feeling amazing. I just one day got this intuitive hit, like, you know what, you should get back on the mat again. And I'm so glad I did. I didn't realize, one, how tight my body has just gotten, and tension and things. And so getting back to it, I really, it's been helping me out a lot, just stretch out a lot of gunk, but also it's giving me extra time to have appreciation for my body and express love to myself. So even though it's small, it's a start. And there's been plenty of times totally where I'm in yoga and I have a moment of clarity. And it helps me with something else going on in my life. I also think a big part of this is the let go. Like I discussed earlier on, it's really going into the unknown and trusting in yourself, your intuition that's telling you, and possibly, God, the universe, and infinite intelligence, whatever it is that you believe in, that it's not just you down here by yourself, that you have another force supporting you through the process. And the way you strengthen that is by paying attention to your feelings. Do you feel better when you are deciding to lean into trusting yourself and what feels good to you? Or do you feel more stressed and anxious when you're moving out of fear and maybe listening to the opinions of others to make decisions that will affect your own life? You have to become conscious enough to recognize those moments, because that's what's going to give you the relief and the peace that you're craving, is recognizing and pivoting when you feel some kind of difference. Also reminding ourselves to, make this fun. Make this fun, whatever that looks like for you. If it means going out on more walks, talking with friends, watching a movie, listening to your favorite song or something over and over again. Y'all know I've been on my Little Mermaid kick. I've been listening to the entire soundtrack over and over again because just it's uplifting and I like that. And even if it's for, a few moments in your day where you can relax or laugh and have some fun, that is enough to change and recalibrate the direction of wherever your momentum is going. And your momentum is just what you're attracting or what you're putting your energy into. And that's beneficial. Really, when we just begin to recognize how our feelings guide us through scenarios and life events, we can use that to our advantage. And I will also say this before, we wrap up. Just be kind to yourself. You are doing something beneficial for yourself and also new. And with the new you'll be figuring it out as you go. And because it's your life, no one will have a handbook on how you should live it. Because hello, it's your life. So therefore only you could really know what it is that feels best for you. It's not that it's not that you know exactly what's going to happen, but you know what feels good to you in every given moment. Based on how you feel. So trust that, be patient in all the ebbs and flows. Strengthen that relationship with yourself, and you will strengthen your faith and abilities to do whatever it is that calls to your heart. You deserve the world. So don't let your old stories and outdated beliefs be guiding you into your new self, because that's what it is. It's outdated. Every day, every month, we're changing, we're evolving. Our desires change. We become curious, and it makes sense. So don't let your old outdated beliefs guide you into your new future. That doesn't even make sense. And take the will of your own life. Don't give that to other people. You are the captain of your own ship. Timothée Chalamet actually said something in an interview, and I might be butchering it, but he said something like, yes, you are the captain of your own fate, but to realize life is coming from you and not at you takes time. Something along those lines, right? And I like the specific part of realizing that life is coming from you, not at you. And that does take time. And basically, to me, what he was saying is, once you realize the world is reflecting yourself, you can truly be the best guide for your own life, because you're not looking for the world to tell you who you are. You're living from that state or that version of you that feels the most authentic to you. And doing this takes time and patience, and you learn a lot when you're going through life that way. But you'll soon get to a point where those voices in your head that are full of doubt and whatever, they start to quiet down, and that leading voice is really you and your intuition guiding you. So whatever it is that you've got going on in your life, because we're all humans. We all have something. Breathe. Take a deep breath. And release. Release knowing you are right on time. You can't make the wrong choice. You will always end up where you want to be no matter what. Unclench your jaw. Unclench your hands, your shoulders, your everything. Just allow. Believe and allow that you deserve every bit of happiness and joy and everything that you could ever want in life, and all of that is always surrounding you at all times. Just tap into that feeling as much as you can. Okay, now into the theory of the week. When you give love to the unknown, you allow it to bring you to the horizon of infinite positive experiences. So let go, trust me. Infinite intelligence has the best viewpoint. It can see way more than what we can see or even comprehend. And it can also make so much happen in an instant when you allow it to. You are doing everything you can and you are enough. Plain and simple. Okay, folks, that's what I got for you today. A little inspo as we are starting our summer to just have fun and dive into new beginnings in yourself during a season where everything begins to bloom. Take advantage of that. Bloom yourself. Also, I just want to take the time to say, obviously, thank you for tuning in, but shout out. I've been getting some really sweet, lovely messages from people about how some of these episodes have been uplifting for them. And I just want to say thank you because it means a lot that you can tune in and, leave feeling refreshed and inspired to keep going. That's amazing. So I just want to say thank you. I read your messages and they make my day. Your support is so meaningful. Okay, folks, that's it. I shall see you next week. Okay, love you. Bye.